I just checking as I fall onto my chair here. Sorry, having some internet issues. Let me see. Okay, that is really, really, really bad internet. I'm so sorry, guys. The gremlins are against me. Just give me a second. Okay, sorry. It's back on my face. Here we go. Sorry. Right. You should be okay. If you can see me, please comment. Please, please, please comment. Hey, Sheila, thank you so much for that comment. I'm about to also check my other feed because that was not working either, and it probably still isn't. Oh, yes, it is. Great. Okay, you're back. You're back. Thank you, girls. I know. I think I may need to abandon this, and yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I just can't do anything when they're working on my internet. And I'm getting black ink all over myself. I think I may have to abandon ship and leave it for another day, quite possibly. Tell me how I'm looking to you before I continue. Yeah, you can see me, but it's fuzzy. Hey, Kathy. Oh, now I'm seeing everyone's comments. How bizarre is that? Sylvia, I'm now seeing your comment. No, Cindy, it says you're watching on YouTube, my love. Well, that's what's telling me anyway. Because I appear clear now. It's now good. Right. Okay, it's now good. Yay. But I am just going to tilt myself a bit. So we just had to wait for silly technology. Right. Okay. Right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's get moving, and none of this is straight or doing what I want it to do. Just bear with me. Okay, it's good now. I know it suddenly kicked in. Bizarre. Bizarre, bizarre. Right. Right. Let's see if Haps is working. It's giving me all the comments. Hey, Clout, thank you so much for joining me again. So, we were up to stamping our happy on our birthday, and then we will leave our alcohol ink swoosh until our last step. Yeah, I'm having some internet issues today. They're working on the internet in our area, so we're getting quite varied speeds today. I did try and go to my mobile Wi-Fi, but it was no help. So happy with that one. Haha. Boom, boom. Okay. And just grab this last one. And then I'm finished with Stamparatus. But I really do think I will leave all this set up and make some more cards in different colours using this setup because it's perfect. I know. No, I prefaced it, Kathy. I didn't threaten it. I prefaced it. And unfortunately, the internet gods are not on my side. Now, what did I want? I want one of these, my silicone mat, just to be neat, clean and tidy. I want to close my ink pad because I'm tempting fate leaving it open. Close, close, close. Right, so I do appreciate you all coming back on to join me. Now, stamp. We're going to we will be using this image in another project. So we will end up using almost all the images in the set. So let's just whack this on, and I do have a spare piece of paper. So I just want to show you a couple of things with the ink pads in and this stamp. So this style of stamp is called a distinctive stamp. Now this is quite a juicy ink pad. I already know that. So I'm going to stamp it once without doing anything, and let me see if I've got a clean side, a fairly clean side. And you will see how splodgy that is. My next step is to take my inky bone folder and I want to butter, I call it buttering the ink pad. So I basically push the ink further down into the ink pad, which creates a less inky surface on top so you don't transfer as much ink onto the stamp. And then we're going to try number 3 and see which one we like. I just need to sorry, I had to get something out of the way so I could grab my baby wipe and just wipe off my bone folder that is ready to use on another project or another ink pad. Okay, so second inking. That looks splodgier than the first one. Oh, okay, try this again. Okay, on second inking it looks less splodgy. What I actually want to try and use is one of our blender brushes. So you just load it up with ink. You can see I've got ink on here, and I literally want to add the ink over here. I am going to try it. We all knew I was going to get this inky. Okay, so try it on here first. Oh, maybe that's too soft. I'm just going to have to brave it and do it and just be very, so really load up the stamp, but it is going to be not as bold as it was with ink just from the ink pad. Right, let's get this bit done, hey? Stamp it down, give it time for the ink to transfer, and you can just see between the two samples that, oh, maybe it's the other sample that's quite inky. So this one, now you've got to think the bottom one is not dry. Okay, so the bottom one isn't dry, but you can just see, especially in these areas, it's less splodgy and the ink isn't as heavy around the edges as this image. So you do get a more even inking using the brush on the stamp rather than using the ink pad on the stamp. Okay, so I do have ink on the back of the handle here, which could spell disaster for one of my very simple fronts here. Let me just check Facebook. You need to rethink these stamp sets, Cindy. I like making you girls think. Not that you have to purchase them, but I like showing you what you can do with them. And that's the whole thing. And you may have a similar stamp set or a totally different stamp set. You go, you like the layout or you like my color choice, all of those things. Okay, I do love the softness of using that brush. I wish I knew who I could credit on Instagram. I may need to go and see if I saved the post from my Instagram, and I can credit the amazing demonstrator who did this. I'm sure they were one of our European demonstrators, but I can't tell you for sure, sadly. Have you tried using your blending brushes? Hello, Miss Mary. Thank you for joining. Have you tried using our blending brushes with these stamps? I do. It's just a much more even, less splodgy, less inky image. I really like that. And the polished pink, whilst it looks fairly fluoro at the moment, it does dry back beautifully. I'm tempting fate doing this over a panel, but anyway. Okay. I know I've got ink in the bottom of this causing me some spillage issues. Right. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to try was just on one of these cards was to use the 3 cross image to add our black embellishment. I'll show you what I mean on the card just here. I'm going to put this brush way out of the way, and this, no, I will need this spare piece of paper. Right. Still got the stamp stuck to me. I know the block's too big, but it was the first one there. Okay, so just taking off the manufacturing bits and bobs. Hey David, I'm not alive. I know. He thinks we're silly. And we don't know these things. But we do. Okay. Oh, I should have done it. Yeah. I still think I like the different texture of the matte black dots, but you can certainly use this image to stamp with. Tell me what you think. The splodge stamp. Yes, I know, Mary. So not my idea. I totally got this idea from someone else. Okay, so now we have done all our stamping, and I'm going to kind of do this so you can see all the images I've used. We're up to assembly. That's as quick, even though it's over 2 videos, that's as quick as this is. Okay, and I'm going to have to deal with splicing these 2 videos together later, or maybe I will just leave them as is. Who knows? What do you reckon? Should I splice them together and put both videos together on YouTube, or because I've gone live on YouTube, I just leave the 2 videos as is? You tell me. Now this is a very, very small mat around this, just like that. And because I don't really want to move it or touch it, there are 2 cards stuck together there, but hey, that's okay. Much easier to put the glue on the card base and then attach my stamped image, I tell you. And just try and get it as even as we can. I think that's as good as that one's going to get. And just 2 more to go. Now, leave them as is. So do you reckon no embellishments, Mary? Just flick back over to Facebook. Oh, I'm happy to add the dots because I'll leave the videos as is, okay. I shall leave the videos as is because not my fault. Silly, silly NBN people. That's what's called the National Broadband Network for anyone who's in another country. And they're called NBN Co. They really wanted to stick together. Okay, let's see how long it takes me to come back on, hey? Yeah, I knew what you meant, Mary. All good. Although it says my connection is great when I'm looking at my phone, but my replays look totally frozen. How boring is that? Okay. Let's see. I don't know that I can do anything at all, to tell you the truth. Oh, so you can hear me, you just can't see me. Okay, well, I can keep talking. That's easy. I am just going to add dimensionals, so visually you won't be missing anything. But since my connection's great on my phone, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So Cindy is going to an art gallery to see the amazing black artist. Oops, wrong screen. Is anyone crafting? They are super fine borders, Mary. Yeah, super fine. Oh, it is now, Mary, in Australian and with the Australian orientation. I want to say it's 9.5 centimeters high by 13.1 centimeters, possibly. I'm not sure without grabbing a ruler. And I'm just adding, yes, I'm back. So at least you could hear me. That's a good thing. Just let me grab a ruler and I shall tell you that. So it is, 12.85 centimeters by, no, God, not inches, by 9 centimeters by 12.85, and the white and the grey would be 9.25 centimeters by 13.1. So nice and fine. Nothing, yeah, I just wanted the boldness of the black frame. I really did. It's not frozen. No, that's because you're on Haps Clout. It was frozen for everyone else on YouTube and on Facebook, which is unfortunate. Not everyone watches me on Haps, and that's okay. Have no issues with that at all. Okay. This is the boring bit. But once we attach these, we're attaching those 3 little matte black dots, and that's the card's done. I do feel the card needs the matte black dots just so it's not so papery. You can leave them off if you want. I just like having that texture, and even though they're matte, there is still a bit of a sheen to them. So it's just a textural thing. Or like I did, you can add the stamping. So the stamping from the Biggest Wish stamp set. So chewing through a few dimensionals here, but it kind of needs 6 for a big panel just for that support. Even though the cardstock is really, the cardstock is really rigid, I just like that underlying support. Good, fantastic, thank you, Mary. I know, and I just want to preface that I am using A4 cardstock, not letter size cardstock. So that always makes a difference, but I have left a nice large border. So I don't often make a card with this big of a border, but I didn't need as big of a panel using the larger sentiment. Like, I haven't really used a focal point image as such. Our alcohol image or our alcohol inked stamp, it's not quite a focal point. It's like a supporting. Yes, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. All good, Virginia. Hello. Okay, I'm just flicking back to Facebook, checking comments because we've got descriptive video. Yes, as David would say, audio described. I think I've listened to enough audio described bits and bobs in my life. That's not straight. to be able to do that. Oh, I know. And it's not even the provider, it's the person that does it's not the individual provider, it's the corporation that owns the lines. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it in Australia. Yeah, like one corporation does the lines and then we can buy the usage of those companies. Yeah, and you can certainly do that, Cindy. I just prefer, I look, I can't, if I made cards the same all the time, I would be bored. You girls would be bored seeing the same card layout all the time, as would my customers and class girls. So I've got to change it up. And I'm being inspired by another card maker that I watch. She's not Stampin' Up, but she loves using these very wide borders. Come on, up you come. It's not listening to me. And I did not rip that. You will be pleased to know. Okay. Okay, that's better. Look, they're not perfect, but they're close. They're close. Let me flip back. You're in Melbourne, Mary. Perfect. Perfect. Normally, I'm a 9.5 girl. I like the 9.5 height, but I went even smaller this time, and the basic green mat isn't even that. But I'm really pleased with how it looks. I do really like it, and my class girls love the simplicity. Now I have added dimension here. I got distracted by my internet. Because this card is so simple, I have added dimension to this layer just to add that detail and that shadow to the card, because there isn't much to it, so it's nice adding a little something to it. Okay. I'm doing very well for time for all the things I've got going. There will be a driving lesson on the way to the appointment. One requested that I drive their car to the school, pick them up, so then they can drive. So definitely very keen to get in all the driving they can. It's 120 hours that they need to have before they can sit their driver's test. And they do it all in a different order to when I did it. When I did it, you did your L's, you did your mandatory whoops, that was really weird. And then you took your test, and then 12 months later you took what's called your hazard perception test, which is a computer test to test your reactions and how safe you are. But now you've got to do that hazard perception test before you sit your driver's license with the driving instructor person. So it's all changed. So the same tests are there, but they're done in a different order. So I did just cover up with this piece here a little blemish that I had. Okay, that that's 4 cards made, girls. With all those interruptions, I didn't get flustered. All the cards are made. The matte black dots, I really do think make it. I'm very happy, and I will show you the difference while I'm clear. I'll show you the difference. This is the one I inked up in class. So you can see we're a little dark around the edges. I've actually even got a line stamped, but it's actually quite dark. Now this is the one I stamped today using the blending brush. So I inked it up using the blending brush. I still pretty much get the same depth of colour, but I just don't get those harsh edges that I did on the other one. Yes, more driving practice is better, and it is raining today, so it's good. It's good, and we're getting a lot of night driving in at the moment because we're not on daylight saving, so all our sporting and after school commitments are later at night. So they're later at night when it's raining, when it's dark. So our night driving is getting quite a good little workout. So these are the 2 versions of the cards that I used. I would prefer those to be up and down and not on an angle, not more like a plus sign and not a cross, but that is something I could change if I did them again. Thank you so much for your patience. I do truly appreciate your patience with my internet connection. I hope to be back next Tuesday without any internet complications, and we will be doing more with the Artistically Inked. I have 2 more projects to share with you. We're using the paper, and the paper is just gorgeous, and using some more of the shimmer vellum. So that will be lots of fun, and we'll be doing some die cutting. So have an amazing weekend. My pleasure, my pleasure. I'm happy I found a tip from the first time I made the card to me making the card now. I found a tip, so I'm always learning from you girls and other demonstrators as well. Yeah, it's just a simple card, and you can change up the colours and make it so many things, so many things. So, yes, but thank you. Have a great weekend, and I will catch you next Tuesday. Bye.